It's time to become the best version of yourself and help others do the same. It's Monday morning, and we're talking success.
Hello, Soul family. Jordan Peterson coming at you live here from our Soul Studios in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Today, I know you're not going to be able to believe this, is August 25th. We are almost done with the month of August already, which is crazy. Summer is basically over. Fall is on its way. I don't know where you guys are at. Here, we've had a little bit of rain for like the first time this summer, which is kind of a fun deal because we're finally feeling like it's cooling off a little bit and life is good. So we're way excited. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Next weekend's Labor Day, so we will not be having our Monday morning Talking Success show, but know that we're thinking about you as you guys finish up the month of August and do all the great things that you've got going on. As always, make sure you chime in. We cannot see you if you are just watching and you haven't commented or chimed in to let us know what you're doing or what you're about, which means we can't stick your name into the bucket of fun to try to win something. And today we've got a double whammy. Not only do we have the shaker bottle, but I don't know if you can see in there, but we also have the little mixer, the electronic mixer in there as well. We've got you covered. We're going to put these together, have one great grand prize today. So make sure you put yourself in the running for it by commenting, and we'll make sure we get you taken care of. Sound good? Fantastic. Now, as always, we love to start this show recognizing you for all the wonderful things that you are doing. We've got two different success keys that we wanted to focus on today. The first of which we call our Trial Box Hero. Now, what in the world is a Trial Box Hero? These are the individuals that enrolled somebody with the Trial Box this past week. And here we go with all of our Trial Box Heroes. We have Maria Balderas. We have Lydia Ferrentino. We've got Jose Luis Avina as well. Eric Patterson. We've got Portia Perez. We've got Norsula Schlott as well. Kristen Brunius, KB, coming from Indiana. We've got Abdul Garcia Quintanilla. Corinne Lott as well, up in Idaho. Ebony Brown. We've got Lene Medford as well. Savannah Halliday. And Dr. Hugh Jenkins, our guest last week. You guys, this is such an easy way to introduce somebody to Soul. As you know, we have this fantastic sampler as well as the trial box. It's just easy to get people involved. It's easy to get them to try the product. And I'll tell you what, between the sampler or the trial box, it is the way to go to get people involved and get them into Soul. So well done to all our trial box heroes for this past week. Well done. Proud of you. Our next success key is our Promo Pro. Now, this is a really cool one. As you know, we have different promotions that we run throughout the month to get people excited. It gives you an opportunity to share with people and reach out to them. Maybe you haven't talked to them for a while, or maybe they're new, or maybe you just want to make sure they get the most cost-effective way to get the products. And so we have these different promotions. A Promo Pro is somebody who had at least 3 people that they personally brought into the organization that purchased the promotion that we have. So these are those that are reaching out and making sure that their team knows about it, and at least 3 of them purchased. You guys, check out this list that we got going on right now. All our promo pros from the last promotion. Here we go. We've got Alvaro Medina over in North Carolina, Amanda Rivera down in Florida, Anna Cano in Texas, Angela Brucheski over in Indiana, Nita Carpenter up in Michigan. I wish I could do that for everybody. I don't know where everybody's from. I just know some, but here we go. Balbina Barajas. We've got Betty Runkle down in Texas as well. Katarina Zepeda over in California. Kathleen Patton in Michigan as well. Claudia Marin, we got her over in North Carolina. Claudia Mota Calderon as well. As you can see, we got people all over the country doing this stuff. Denise Norbert down in Texas. Dioselina Mejuarez doing great things. Genoveva Benitez as well. Genoveva Valencia, no relation, I'm sure. Gueremina Moya. Orlando Nunez, killing it, right? Johnny Guerrero, these are names we see quite often on these lists. Very active, reaching out to people, making sure they know all about it. Judy Gale as well. We've got Chris DeVille, Mama Kay down in Louisiana. Kristen Brunius again. You see these names. Lydia Ferrentino on there as well. You see these consistent names being on different things. being active, reaching out, talking to people, enrolling, doing all those great things. Lisa Manchester as well. Luisa Santa Maria. We've got Maya Flores, another Florida. Maria Balderas down in Texas. We've got Maria Ramirez as well down there. Patty Trujillo. We've got Matilda Mena. Anabet y Jesus Conde down in Florida too. Olegaria Rodriguez. We've got Olga Sumrall over in California. Betty Figuera. We've got Pat Al-Hakim over in Oklahoma. Raul Cumes. Tammy Peterson down in Texas as well, you guys. And Miss Valerie Bledsoe rounding us out, coming in from the heartland of the U.S. in Kansas. So well done, guys. Isn't that a cool thing? When we have these promotions, it's such a key thing to be able to reach out to our groups quickly. There's so much technology now that allows us to do that. Everything from a group text to like a GroupMe app or something like that. WhatsApp has different things as well. We can reach out to them on Messenger, email, and heaven forbid, we pick up our phone and just call somebody and say, hey, did you hear about this? There's so many ways that we can effectively reach out. On top of that, we also have what we're doing here at corporate as well, sending out emails to everybody that has an email on there. And by the way, it's always good to make sure your people have valid emails in there. Some people throw an email when they sign up for a company or whatever that is not one that they use or maybe is invalid. And they just don't have a chance to see things unless they actually are have given us valid information. So it's always a good thing to reach out and make sure they're good as well. So, man, great list though. It's always fun to see how many people are being active and moving forward with what we have in Soul. So well done. Congratulations. Super excited for you. Now, as I mentioned in the Soul Business Facebook group where I posted this link to come be on with us today, we talked about empathic listening. Now, what in the world is empathic listening? For those of you who like to read and are students of personal development and trying to figure all this stuff out, that is a term that comes from one of the greatest books that was ever written, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Dr. Stephen Covey talks about it. There's a whole chapter in here about listening. And this is an interesting thing. I was talking with my wife last night, and she had the opportunity to kind of meet with some people in our neighborhood. Some different women are having some health issues. And when she got done, she'd been there for, hours, it seems. And for some, it literally was hours. There was opportunity there just to sit and listen, to kind of go over the concerns that these different women had. And it was such an interesting transformation that happens when somebody actually feels like they've been listened to. There's this deeper connection. They feel like their emotional needs are met, and now they can feel like their day's a little bit easier. And I find that to be such an interesting psychological moment, because in reality, nothing has really changed, right? Their burdens are still there. Their trials are still there. They're still struggling with whatever health conditions or whatever else they have going on. But for whatever reason, now it just feels more manageable. And so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about empathic listening, what it is, how it works. The term that we often relate to it comes from Dr. Covey himself, where he says, seek first to understand, then be understood. And when you think about why we usually don't do that in listening, it usually comes down to a few things. One, we really just don't care what the person is saying to us, so we're not going to listen enough to even pay attention to it. Two, we already think we've got the solution to their problem, so I'm not going to hear you all the way out, because I can solve your problem here really quickly. If you'll just stop talking for just 30 seconds, I can tell you what's wrong and fix it, and then we can be done with this. And then number three, I just don't have the time to listen to you. So if you could speed this up a little bit, can you get to the point? Skip over all the stuff you're telling me. Let's get to the point so I can move on, right? Seems like those are kind of the three main reasons why we don't listen super well when we need to. Brenda Yulin says, when we are listened to, it creates us, makes us unfold and expand. When we are listened to, it creates us, makes us unfold and expand. I really like that. I think that's an interesting thing, because as you talk to people who just need to get something off their chest, or a friend you haven't seen for a long time and you're catching up, as you have those conversations, it's interesting just to see them kind of literally unfold in front of you and just let you into their world a little bit. And it's such a fascinating thing, and I love it. So first off, we're going to jump into 4 different levels of listening that come straight from the book. You can see I got this stuff highlighted. I don't know if you can see it from there, but man, I don't know how you read a book like this without a highlighter, because there's just so much information. And then you find yourself highlighting too much. And so it's hard to find things when you go back to it. At least that's a problem I struggle with. So it says here, when another person speaks, we're usually listening at one of 4 levels. And here, when he writes the word listening, he put it in quotation marks. We're listening at one of 4 levels. Number 1, we may be ignoring the other person, not really listening at all. We may practice pretending. You can hear that sometimes when people are going, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, Yeah, we're pretending to be listening, right? Then it says we may practice selective listening, hearing only certain parts of the conversation. He says we do this when we're listening to the constant chatter of a preschool child, right? You're hearing the words come and you're just making sure you're hearing any key things so you can follow along with the conversation just enough in case they stop and ask a question, you know how to answer, right? And it says we may even practice attentive listening, paying attention and focusing energy on the words that are being said. But he says, but very few of us ever practice the 5th level of listening, which he says is empathic listening. And we're going to talk a little bit about what empathic listening is now, and then we're going to talk about why that's important in soul and why that's important with the relationships we have, right? Says this, when I say empathic listening, I'm not referring to techniques of active listening or reflective listening, which basically involve mimicking what another person says, right? It says, when I say empathic listening, I mean listening with the intent to understand. I mean seeking first to understand, to really understand. It's an entirely different paradigm. The essence of empathic listening is not that you agree with something or someone. It's that you fully, deeply understand that person emotionally as well as intellectually. I think that may be a concern that some people have when we're talking about empathic listening, is that you think you have to agree with the information that's being presented to you. And that's not the case at all. It's not agreeing with it. It's just fully being able to understand it and see where they're at. For whatever reason, I think social media is to blame for quite a bit of this. We have quick judgments that we make about things that we hear or see or do. And that makes it so, one, I think it's just a defense mechanism. So we say, I don't want to get involved or know more or do more with an individual, a group, or whatever, because I just don't agree with them, right? And so we make very quick judgments about things to decide whether or not we want to know more or do more. That's the opposite of what we're talking about with empathic listening. Empathic listening is really seeking to understand where they're coming from. It's not a matter of agreeing with them. It's a matter of just understanding, right? So there's one really cool example in the book of this. It talks about when Dr. Covey and his wife were younger, they had a young child at home, and the young child just wasn't doing well, wasn't feeling well, was really sick, and so they were getting a little nervous. So they thought, you know what, we probably ought to call our doctor. Well, the doctor wasn't available, and so they had another doctor that was on call to cover for the other doctor. As you know, most doctors' offices and places do this. They have multiple doctors that kind of take turns being on call and taking care of the office and the patients. Well, they call this other doctor and very quickly explain the situation and say, hey, the little girl's sick. We're not sure what to do. Can you help us? Oh, absolutely. I'm going to write you a prescription real quick. And go to the doctor, go to the pharmacist, get the prescription, give it to him. We'll see you once the weekend's over. You're going to be great. Thanks, goodbye, right? As soon as the mom Dr. Covey's wife gets off the phone with the doctor, Dr. Covey said, that's an interesting prescription. Do you think that he knows that our daughter is only 2 months old? And she goes, well, of course you have to know that, right? They're all the doctors in the same place. Like, they have to know. Yeah, but he's never actually seen our daughter before. He's not our doctor. Oh, I'm sure he knows, though. Like, he's a doctor. Like, of course he knows. Well, why don't we call him back and make sure that he really knows that before we get this prescription? Like, do we really want to give this prescription to our daughter if we aren't sure that he knows? And she said, well, I'm not going to call him back. You call him back then if you have that question, right? So Dr. Covey calls him back and says, hey, I appreciate the prescription and everything, but listen, did you know that our daughter is only 2 months old? And the doctor said, oh my gosh, no, I didn't know that. I got to change that prescription immediately. That's not something you can give to a 2-month-old, right? And so it's a very real life example of, man, if we're not listening, if we're not paying attention, bad things could possibly happen. Now, luckily for us in Soul, it's not a matter of life and death as we're trying to help people achieve the best version of themselves and put themselves in a better spot. But there's still real life things that go on as we're trying to listen and help people, right? For instance, and if you're ready, let's get our fingers ready to participate out there with typing in, right? It says, Lydia says, practice as women, we must practice even more. We are all full of words and want to interrupt with an answer before listening to really understand, right? Emily says, when we listen to build trust, connection, and truly understand the person in front of us, right? That's a great example of empathic listening, right? Seashell Pony, if we listen for understanding, we're in a better position to help in a way that will yield real results. And Dolores says, yeah, great example. I should listen better, right? Awesome. So all those good things, right? And so question for you. Let's say you're talking with a friend and your friend says, oh my gosh, I just have no energy lately. My heavens, it's been really tough for me. I just don't feel like I have any get up and go. Like I'm just really lethargic. I don't have any energy. Man, oh, can you imagine? And so you, without really listening to understand, you say to yourself, oh, you know what you need? My gosh, I start my day with Cinnamate every single day. It gives me so much energy. You got to try it. It's fantastic. It's for sure going to solve your problems. Man, you are welcome for me solving this problem for you. Man, have a great day. We'll see you later. Or you say, oh, you know what helps me? That Solmach XD is great for energy. You absolutely should be taking this. I take it. Gives me energy. We're good to go. In fact, you know what else you should take? Take Excel in the afternoon. Start your day with Cinnamate, Excel in the afternoon. You're going to get tons of energy. Life is great. Go, right? It's such an interesting thing because we oftentimes put ourselves in a quick position to what you think that what works for you is going to automatically just work for them, right? So we're very quick to say, oh, no energy? Well, do this and you're going to have energy, right? Anita says you need to ask questions. Very important, right? Lydia goes on to say, no energy. Hasn't been happening for a while. That must be hard. What do you do to deal with that, right? Satinka says, but they didn't ask what they had going on, why they feel so tired, right? Yeah, how about this? They just moved into a new house and it's next to the train station and the train goes by 4 times a night and just keeps them awake all night. And so they have no energy. Does that change it? Why else could they not have energy? Maybe their hormones are off. Maybe they aren't eating. They just don't have an appetite lately and they're not eating. Their stomach hurts all the time. So they have no energy, right? There could be a million reasons. They just had a baby and the baby's not sleeping well. Maybe they're worried about something else and they're not sleeping well. And they just have no energy. Right? There's so many different things that could be going on. And would that change the recommendations you have or the stories that you share with them? Absolutely, right? Another one, right? A common one. I can't sleep. Man, I'm struggling to sleep. Oh, well, you know what I do? I take a hot cup of Renew before I go to bed at night. My gosh, I sleep so good. You should try that. In fact, take some Veritazymes as well. Take some Veritazymes, swallow them down with the hot Renew, and you'll be lights out. Life will be great, and you're going to be in a great spot. You're going to sleep so good, and then life's going to be so much easier for you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Solve your problems. I'm out of here, right? Well, what if they can't sleep because they're really worried about their finances? Does that change maybe what you talk about with them, what you can share with them, right? There's so many different things we've got going on. And so really listening to understand will put you in a position to actually give advice that can help put them in a great spot to move forward, right? Dolores asks, well, what's going on? So many reasons why it could be going on, right? Minnie says it's not relatable if it doesn't solve their problem. There's so many reasons for no energy, so many reasons for not sleeping well too, right? Dr. Jenkins says, be more detailed with your questions to be able to give them more detailed answers, right? There's so many different ways. Rachel says, I think I needed to hear this today. Well, maybe so. I love it. Right? There's so many different just ways that and things that people are dealing with, and taking time to really understand where they're coming from, asking great questions. Well, how does that affect your life? What would your life be different if you could sleep? Or what's changed recently that makes you feel like you don't have any energy? You know, asking really good questions is going to put you in a spot where you can give really good answers, right? And then we can really help them and put them in a position. Now, yes, there's no questions. They could take anything in Soul, and it's going to be great for them, right? Soul is made with just the greatest stuff that the good Lord's made himself. And yes, there's something for everybody, and we can put everybody in a position to be more nutritionally balanced. And the adaptogenic herbs are great. No question about it, right? And that's not even really the question. Because when we listen to somebody, we truly listen to understand them, it creates deposits in their emotional bank account. And they know you can be somebody that can be trusted and relied on. And so when bad things happen, when hard times come, they go, oh, you know what? I remember talking to my good friend, and man, they just really got me. And so I'm for sure going to go to them again and see if they can help me out with whatever it is, right? And then you can put yourself in a position to truly help people. Because when we talk to the Soul Family, why do we join the Soul Family? To help people. That's like the number one answer, right? So let's really help people by being an empathic listener. And you're going to see some great things happen because of that, right? Rosa Nunez says listening for their needs, right? And that's what we're looking for in order to help them and put them in a position. Now, we're going to be talking more about this, more about how to ask great questions, more about how to help people. We're going to have real life examples of all of this coming up at our Ignite event in October. Do not miss out. It's so much fun to spend time on things like this in a workshop where we can really bounce ideas off each other, spend some time really focusing on how to become better ourselves. And when you do that, you just leave with more tools in your toolbox in order to help people. So make sure that you come to be a part of this, right? That's what we're here to do, right? Terry says, yes, we joined to help people. Absolutely, right? Be helpful to more people. And the better you are at listening, the more people you will be able to help. Sound good? All right, guys, let's get you out of here then today. It is time to go and change the world. So let's do it. Man, we got a great group in here. This bowl's about overflowing. Can you hear that? That's you guys. That is you guys' names. Who's feeling lucky today? We've got our Soul Vital with our mixer in there, our electronic mixer, Soul branded. You guys, if you're not using that, I use that every day, multiple times. So it is the best way to go. Mix this up. And let's make this happen. That's right, Minnie. Go make some deposits in emotional bank accounts, and we will change lives. Here we go. The winner today is Lillian Rodriguez. Lillian down in Vegas, I believe. Lillian, you are our winner today. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us live. As always, guys, keep sharing soul. We sure love you, and we'll see you again soon.